I am just so excited for everyone who has taken time on this. I'm going to say beautiful Tuesday. For those in the Northeast, Wednesday is going to be a tricky one. So we are enjoying every moment today. So I want to start by just thanking you all for being here. My name is Chris Davis. This is part of my Couch to Content series. It is January, so I believe this is my ninth. I also just hit Elite for the second time this month, so I'm excited to keep this going through April and the years following. Video has been a huge part of my business, growing my pipeline, engaging with prospective customers, and ultimately meeting new business. It's also just been a fun way to stay in touch with people because I find once you show fun things or create fun things, people generally like to see it. So this picture right here is from a listing video I shot yesterday. I just put it up on my Instagram and YouTube if you want to check it out. The quick story on this one was it's a house that a flipper is probably going to buy, or an investor, or someone who's got time and a lot of skills. And I've had a couple of these lately, and I'm always trying to find a way to showcase and promote the idea, but you don't need to see a lot of the house. I think the location speaks for itself. And then the side story to the idea was I had been watching a lot of Dr. Seuss baking shows on Prime with my children this past weekend. And so I tend to come up with these ideas late at night for my listing videos. And it just occurred to me, wouldn't it be cool to have a Dr. Seuss style listing video? So give that one a like, subscribe on the YouTube. Let me know if you like it. I would love to hear what you think. And that's just a still shot. A reminder, whenever you're working with a videographer or doing any type of content, make sure you stop and have them take photos of you. It's a great way to increase the exposure, increase the content you can put out to the world. And oftentimes they have great cameras on them. And in this case, he took a pretty, I thought it was a fun photo. A lot of flannel. For those who don't know me, I would love to know you and look forward to meeting you. My name is Chris Davis. I live and work in Falmouth, Maine, where I also grew up. I'm a union actor and a girl dad. I have two amazing daughters, Beatrice and George. I love to run, I love to swim, and I love to uphill ski. I am a TV host on Maine Life Media, which is a Maine-based lifestyle and culture show, and I most recently joined the team, the American Dream TV Network. My first episode is airing at the end of this month, and this is a screenshot from me with a local actor named Matt. So I'm excited for that. I'm the team lead for Places in Maine. You can check us out at placesinmaine.com. Two of the team, Paul and Alex, are on this call, which I appreciate. And there could be more, but I realized I shrunk down my thing. Kirk is here too, hence his background. Kirk, thank you so much for being here. Awesome. Sold over 140 homes. I just completed my 5th full year in real estate, and I like to tell people I'm obsessed with tennis. It tends to be a great way to contrast, the energies of this business, to find that little ball when that racket they meet. It's just a great way to get out some good energy. So I was thinking about today, it's January. Having been now through 8 of these courses, it's always a good time. I know a lot of people have set goals or set standards or made a vision board. I assume those who are here or who are watching this on record or on Facebook are doing so because they want to incorporate more video, or they have new ideas, or they want to get new ideas, or they simply want someone to help them be accountable for their video goals. I would say this community that regularly checks in to this Couch to Content series is always available to be accountable. So just curious, for those who can either chat or go off mute, I'd love to hear any goals, standards, ideas. We have Sharon's 1-page business plan. Was there anything on that video-wise that you're willing to share? I will definitely share mine, but someone's got to share first.
I'll go since no one else is speaking up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty new in this game. So the whole video thing is something I know I need to tackle, but have not really attempted to tackle yet. I've done a couple of when I was on a location, at a home doing a home inspection, I shot some stuff, but just really raw, like selfie kind of video. So I haven't really put any effort at all into really, thinking about video production in the proper sense. So for me, it's just my goal is to start to figure out what is something manageable that I can bite off and actually achieve in the early going, because I know I'm not going to be where Chris is yet, right? And I think Chris, I heard this from you, and I think you were repeating it from somewhere you had picked it up, but the don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 22, right?
Yeah,
So I'm not even on chapter 1 yet. I'm in the prologue. So I'm aware of that. So that's my goal, is to get comfortable with the prologue so I can get to chapter 1 and go from there.
I love that. And I really appreciate you putting it out there. And having seen a couple of your videos now, you're probably further into the intro than you think, way past the table of contents. But nice work to put it out there. And I think finding those opportunities, you created that moment being at an inspection to say, hey, I'm going to do a video. And that's what it takes. It's just in the moment to be like, there's no reason not to do one right now. I don't know what the purpose of it might be, but someone out there might need to learn about this moment or see me in this moment to then further decide, oh, I'm going to give Kirk a call because I love Thomaston, right? So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. What else we got? Latifa, Kimberly, Paul, Alex. Alex is right next to me. This is kind of cool. It's like, I feel like I'm doing my live Oprah right now.
4 feet away. I can almost touch him.
Chris,
Oh,
I'm in the table of content, just to let you know. I have
you're at the
nothing.
table of contents. Okay, awesome.
So I'm in the learning stages, and I'm very excited about that.
That's great. What is there something that's inspiring you particularly to take on video? What is the idea behind it for you?
Well, I know it's a necessity. It's just something I put off to the background. I'm not, that type of video person. So I just, put it off, and it's time.
Cool. Nice. There's no better time than now.
Absolutely.
If
Thanks.
I may, what would you consider, like, how do you love to get business?
I mean, most of it comes through referrals, but I mean, it's 2024.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
step my game up now.
Nice. And what market are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice. Well, congrats on building your business on referrals. I mean, I think that is just incredible and a great place to be. And I always love to like give ideas, and one might just be the next referral you get. You can send that person who sent you the business a video text and just say, thank you so much. It means a lot to me and whoever else is in your world that they thought of you.
absolutely. Thanks a lot, Chris.
You bet. Thanks for jumping in, Latifa. James jumped in on the chat. I'd like to be able to reach manageable yet successful content. Fresno, California. Awesome. So we are all over the United States right now. I love that. I'd be able to reach manageable yet successful content. That's such a great goal. And I would say just define for you what success is. I think early on for me, success was just doing it consistently, kind of regardless of what it was. And then I think organically I moved into this like, oh, was that quality enough? And I think there was a part of like a year and a half ago, trending was like, oh, you have to have polished quality. And then as like TikTok really grew and YouTube Shorts and all these other things, it's like the off the cuff, what looks spur of the moment tends to be really exciting for people. It has that like wow factor of like, I wonder if they're going to screw up thing. So just something I've looked at over the years and how things have trended, but nice work, James, on getting there. And obviously if any of us can help throughout this year, that's what we're here for at Real. So that's awesome. People have just jumped in. Charlotte, Tony, how you doing?
Good. It's at my kid's doctor's appointment, so I'm trying to like keep in touch here. So I'm doing okay. Happy New Year, by the way.
Hey, thank you. You too. And I hope everything's okay at the doctor's.
Oh yeah. This is really simple. Just keeping the kid happy. And of course, keeping one eye on you guys and one eye on her.
That's
I'm juggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Josh, what do you got for some like video ideas, goals, plans, things you want to do?
One thing I've been thinking through is, and I haven't done anything with it, but is like the just sold images, they're really
Mhm.
lame. And how do you actually make it valuable and not just like a picture about of a house and a price that no one cares about?
Yeah.
Like, how do you
Right.
either share the story of the property or share something unique that happened or whatever? So
Yeah. I love that. I've heard you say that before. So this is the year you're actually going to do it.
yeah. Yeah, I had some ideas and it didn't really work out. Like for some properties that I'd done videos on, like my
Yeah.
listings, the idea was to edit together, like reuse all the footage since I paid for the footage to be filmed,
Right.
reuse it and edit it down and kind of share like a 1 minute. This is kind of the process. But it just didn't really flow and it was kind of clunky and it didn't really work. So
Yeah.
I don't really have a solution, but it's been something I've been thinking about the last few days. For whatever reason.
I love it. I wonder, just that made me think of how buyers in particular, I think, are so interest rate focused after we saw kind of the turbulence of the last 6 months. And so instead of maybe telling this a different option than like telling the story of how you got there, might just be more factual things that,
Right.
like I could see a whole profile tile of like 6.2%, 6.7%. You don't have to like necessarily reveal. That might be tricky, but you know, like there might be different ways to be like, oh, this week the 30-year average was this when this closed, because I think, you know, we're just finding buyers we connect with like are either so out of whack because they don't realize how good their mortgage is right now and they still want to buy, or, you know, they might hear the high numbers, but they don't translate that into what it actually is.
Right.
So there might be a,
Yeah, I don't know.
that
It's a
might-
tough balance because that's what I run into with everything. Because it's like, oh, sweet, we can do that, and then you're like, well, you really can't go and tell oh, my client bought down their interest rate, and now they did this, and they had X, you know, they put $30,000 appraisal waiver. So you kind of get into some ethics there for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, I love it. I think
We'll come up with it by the end of the year. We have 11 months. So
Hey, Josh, an idea just to piggyback on your thing, because I want to get it out while it's in my front of my head. And I'm not sure if this is like, I guess legal is the word, is it permissible if you go to your buyers and say, hey, would you guys mind helping me to help a lot of other people who are sitting on the fence? And are you willing to say, for example, hey, look, I know your mortgage is like, you know, $3,250 a month, and you're hoping to refi in a year, maybe hypothetically to 5.1, and your rate will be that. So are you okay going on camera saying, hey, by the way, we just bought this house with you guys. What's your mortgage payment for your qualifications? Oh, it's only $2,850. Fantastic. Oh, wait, by the way, I think a lot of people can afford $2,850, but what was your interest rate? And your sellers can go, who cares? I mean, your buyers can go, who cares? I can afford the payment and I got the house I love.
Yeah.
So maybe like a story where everyone's going, yeah, but what's your rate? What's your rate? And you tell the story of, tell the folks what your payment is right now. Oh, it's $2,150. That, wow, I
especially if
bet a
you
lot of
can,
people, right?
especially if
What do
you
you, what do
put
you
that
think?
against what they were paying for rent and it was more.
Yes, give that example. And then if you were to, you know, let them in on the joke and say, if I say, by the way, what's your interest rate? And they go, I don't give a beep. I can afford this payment at a fixed amount. Who gives a damn? And then the husband can say, well, you know, if later down the road, if the rates ever can be refied lower, our payments would shrink. And the wife would go, oh, honey, you're so smart. And you could turn to the camera and go, do you want a piece of this action? Call me. Let's talk about it. Thoughts,
I think you
gentlemen?
just scripted the whole thing for me. Now I just have to find the right buyer.
I will send you my invoice.
Thank you. Perfect. That Chris@placesinmaine.com.
I'm really expensive. Watch out, bubby.
Okay. He's elite.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. It also, Josh, just makes me think of like using the tool of like blacking out the person, fuzzing them, or like voice modulation. Like you could have a
Yeah.
whole series of like looking back on
Ask your buyers if you can pretend to tie them up on a chair and you're holding a hostage and talking
Like hostage
video.
negotiations.
And you put not a real scenario, paid actors
No,
or something, just as a goof.
no buyer was harmed in the filming of this. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. I think probably that's the way to go. Like, Chris, I just saw, like, literally just saw your PJ video. I know you're not, like, I know that's not what you call it, but like, it made me think, like, wow, we think way too much inside the box. Bravo on that. That was brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a listing video I just posted on Instagram. He's mentioning a lot of PJs involved. And Josh, you could just have your quarterly party with all your clients who closed last year, and you could pull that off in a matter of 30 minutes,
Yeah.
One idea. Awesome. I love when collaboration happens. Anyone else want to jump in?
I did
Alex,
a Doc, I did a Doc Brown last night and hit my head and came up with the flux capacitor idea. You guys interested?
Yes, let's hear it.
Oh man, when this baby hits 88 miles an hour. Okay, so last night, after a couple of days, I got the approval to access Google Earth. It's their higher quality version. I don't know if you can get it in a second, but it usually takes 2 days, and you could do these point by point key-framed fly-throughs on anywhere on Earth. So when I heard Josh talking, I just tied this idea to what he said with how do you make it just sold interesting at all? Go to Google, like do Google and Earth, and it'll say try it. You usually sign up and you'll get something that looks like a very simple editor, and he shows you the Earth. And if you do keyframes and click and drag periodically and set up the flight path, have it zoom all the way from the Earth to the US, to the state, to the town, to the actual house. And you can keyframe certain moments and play it and tweak it. So you go from like out in space and fly down to the Earth, to the US, through the clouds, through a bunch of city buildings, like a POV drone, and it comes right up to the front door of the house, and you can cut to him opening the door. So you went from space all the way down like Superman, so to speak. And I think that would punch up the traditional just sold. And you look at Josh's and they go, holy crap, did you see that? You went from space all the way to Earth. Play around with it. It is free. And the keyframing, you just have to be a little patient because you can control the roll and the pitch. So you just kind of go slowly and go to your own house and then do it for clients on just sold. And so after playing with that last night, thinking of ideas, I heard him say about the whole just sold thing. I went, oh, wait a minute. That's how you can punch up a just sold, right? I mean, it's an idea. Not everyone's going to do it, but if it's free and it's different and you guys try it, and if it's new to you, it's probably new to your audience. Your thoughts?
No, it's great.
So where do you get it? Google Earth, and then what? I missed my
Yeah, what you do is go into your search bar and type Google and then a space and put Earth. And it should show you space with the Earth globe. And on the upper right, I think it's a blue button. You click to sign up, and either you're going to get immediate access or it takes like a day or two, because I think the algorithm wants to make sure you're not some, I don't know, terrorist or whoever, I don't know. But if you take anywhere from a minute to a day to a week, but when you get access, it looks like almost like CapCut on the bottom. You can put in latitude, longitude, or you can just click and scroll. Like you would hit a keyframe in space and scroll to like California, hit a keyframe, scroll down to my county, hit a keyframe, and it'll ease in, ease out, and blend. So you look like you have a drone in space, like looking through the eyes. And you can fly down and you can fly through the city buildings and tilt and pan and wind up right at and slow down till you're just sold. And then you would take that clip, you download it, Google email you the file, the MP4 file, and then you would take your phone and stand about where you were 2 seconds ago and walk to the house and maybe blend that reasonably so it looks like you're opening the door as it's one long cut. And that's just an idea that just hit me after hearing Josh and Christopher talk when I was just kind of hemming and hawing over this thing last night with Google Earth. Oh, I got approved. So I just want to throw it out there to be helpful because, I mean, what am I going to do? Keep it to myself? So that's why we're here, right? Like if I figure if I can share something and some of you guys go, oh crap, that does work, huh? Then, one hand washes the other kind of thing.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm just giggling, wondering what the other people in the waiting room are going, what is he talking about?
Google Earth. Go check it out, folks. Oh, by the way, there are some people on YouTube that show you how to use it, and it's so cool now. Once I saw it, I watched the kids like 12-minute video, and I watched every 12 minutes of it. So I'm in, and it's free.
Awesome. Perfect. You got the 100% right sentiment, and what I truly love and have experienced about this company is like, yes, we share it all. R&D, rip off, and what was it? Duplicate. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. If anyone else wants to drop your goals in the chat, I'm gonna move forward here. I'm gonna stick with one goal. I'm gonna add a live monthly event and record it. Josh and I kind of do this every once in a while, but I've been having a lot of engagement when I post personally about some of my rental properties, particularly an Airbnb property. And I noticed that a lot of people have questions about it and they're interested to know more. And so I have starting in 2 weeks, it's going to be like an 8 p.m. Facebook Live event just to talk about my investment story, and probably do the same story every month and hopefully get new people in. So I do a lot of record video, then post it. But this has been my first foray into real like live event stuff, and I've really enjoyed it for moments like just like that, right? People share new stuff. You get to learn a bit more about someone. So that's where I need some accountability. That's why I put it out there. Cool. All right. So let's jump in. So I put a, the chat. Love it. Thank you, Al. Thank you. I found this picture of me and my daughter in a ski lodge. She's eating chicken tenders. I'm eating chips and a non-alcoholic beer. And it looks like she's telling me something, and I am just so amazed by it. And it just made me think of if we still have to explain to people why social media is important, I might have that face because I don't think it should be explained anymore. But I also realized not everyone's into it, and that's okay. But to me, it has been the best vehicle to get video out in front of people. Instagram tends to be my main focus, but I do try to cross-post into YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and TikTok. But most of where I'm focused and kind of reviewing analytics is on Instagram. And where I want to get with today's lesson is helping you all come up with a way to show up to the camera in an authentic way. It's something that I've had kind of years of actor training to even show up in person to sometimes feel authentic. I remember when I first started doing video with a real estate hat on 4 years ago, my boss at the firm I was at sat me down and he's like, dude, I love your videos, but it's not your voice. And I was like, oh, and that was a good note to me that I was putting on a different voice to then do these videos, which to me, having previous years of actor training just taught me that like, oh, I'm doing something vocally and with my breath to not technically show up as myself. And so that's where a lot of my love and focus and passion for video comes from, being authentic. Why do we want to be authentic? Because that's when we build trust. And so I like to think about social media as first we share to connect with other people. So this morning I shared about Nordic skiing with my kids. Maybe there's other people out there who have kids and want to do Nordic skiing. We might come together in a positive moment to do that, right? That's a great way to connect. Through that post, I also talked about parenting in the write-up. I was having a moment of vulnerability where I was learning a lot about myself as a parent. In that same regard, people recognize vulnerability. I think they respect it when it is true. And you just never know when someone else might be going through a similar moment that you can then help. I post not a ton, but a little bit about being sober. And it's been really fun this month because there's people who I'm texting every day who I never would have thought are like loving a dry January. And I'm not like pontificating or telling them they should do it. They just want to engage with me because they're excited about it. And that's from a post I did on January 1st. And I think through that connection, through that vulnerability, we really start to find an authentic way to connect with other people. And ultimately, what we're after in our business is trust. The quicker we can walk into a coffee shop and establish trust with a stranger, the quicker we're going to be able to talk about the things that are sensitive, like money and finances and real estate, to then potentially get a client, get a listing, get a buyer, or hear about something that could help our clients. So if trust is the end game, these are 3 ways where I view social media to get me there. Now, I'm not talking about all the bad things about social media. I'm not talking about all the scare tactics or all the ways you can sell products. That's all out there. That is a reality. I'm not saying it's not. My focus is on how can I connect? How can I share my vulnerability? How can I show up authentically? Because I'm trying to build that trust. A story I often tell is 4 months ago now, I was at a wedding for my wife's grandmother. Her cousin from California was there, who I had never met. He ran up to me, gave me a big hug, and he said, "Man, I feel like I know you better than my cousins at this funeral." And it was because I post all the time, and he knows me. And I thought that was really cool, because now we have like a really good relationship. I've met this guy once. He lives across the country. But why not? There are no rules on that. Like, you can connect with whoever you want. And if it's healthy and positive, like, and that got us here, I think that's really cool. So that's all kind of like heady stuff to like think about, like, whoa, I just want to post some video this year, so it's like, how do I get there? So now I want to like segue a bit more into what can we actually post, what's working right now, where are we at places in Maine seeing engagement, action and activity, and to no surprise, I think everyone knows, like, it's all about listings right now. Typically Q1 of any real estate season or year is about how do we get ahead of sellers who are thinking April, May, June to list their house. The conversations, the thoughts, those are happening now for those people. And we want to be the ones they think of when they have those thoughts. The only way they're going to think about us is if we are out in front of them. So things that we have loved doing, sharing our home equity links, or the instant home evaluation, or the HomeBot. Lofty has a great one if you subscribe through their website. I know a lot of people have, or a lot of different website CRM providers have it, but I was on the Tactics and Mastermind last week with Tim Macy and Ray Allen, and they were really just hammering home. No one knows really if their home gained appreciation in 2023, if they lost. They're all wondering, everyone's getting their taxes ready. So they're looking at their finances. They might be like, ooh, we need to make money this year, or, oh, we made more than we need. Where could we put it? And at least for me and in my experience, some part of that equation always comes back to real estate, whether it's, do I need to sell something? Is it a good time to buy something? I had a text this weekend come in from a client who I'd sold a house to 2 years ago. And the gist of the text was, hey, we just saw this house in the same town hit the market. If we could get that and sell our house for X, we'd be in a much better financial position. And it was interesting. They want to sell a house that's worth more and buy a house that potentially could be worth the same, but the way it was listed, it looked that it wasn't. And their whole goal was they wanted to decrease their taxes. And by buying in a different location in the town, they could kind of buy an equally comparable home, but have like a $5,000 less tax bill. And that was an aha moment for me to be like, oh my gosh, yeah. Everyone is thinking, with inflation being crazy, how can I spend less? And for some, that might mean making a little bit on a sale, buying something that is going to decrease their monthly. And it's not always just about the interest rate math. Sometimes it's about that tax math. We had a lot of towns in Maine over the last 2 years reassess their taxes. Naturally, a lot of people saw them go up. Not everyone, but some. So to get consumers thinking about listings, I think that's just a great way to engage with them. Instant home value, and then check it, make sure it's somewhat accurate, and then you have a reason to reach out to them. I love, as a consumer, the resolution life change journey content. These are the cold plungers. These are the people going to the gym for the first time. These are the people doing keto. I don't care. I love it all. I want people to like figure out whatever they need. I'm on my own little journey of many of these things. And so this is mainly for you guys. If there's something you're working on, what a great way to show vulnerability to your audience. share that. You might find an accountability partner. You might find someone who's tried that and it didn't work, or they had to modify it. And so I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, it's important for us to share with our community that we're always working on something, because that shows that we're always working on our business, and that shows that we're staying top of mind and relevant, and that we want to be ahead of the curve so we can serve our clients the best. So resolution, life change, journey content, love that stuff. Lastly, polls. We talk about this a lot. Alex and I were just talking about such a fun way. I always love polls because to me, like, people come out of the woodwork who I never thought really either cared about me, knew about me, engaged with me. For some reason, I feel like that's like humans' way of being like, I see you, I'm going to answer your poll. And then it's just a fun way to respond to them and like DM them back and be like, cool, thanks so much. Didn't know you felt that way, or no kidding. So how are you feeling about rates? That's a great poll. Good, bad, indifferent. You can always put in funny things like, ooh, I wish it was 2021 or whatever, right? Did your home gain, lose value in 23? You know, no matter what they choose, you then have a DM to say, oh, that's so interesting you think that way. What's your address? I'd love to send you a quick analysis so you can actually see if that's true. Then you get a data point there and a piece of information to share. Seasonal polls. I feel like right now in Maine, at least, we're having some crazy weather. It's an obvious time to check in with people about how they're preparing for the storm that's coming tonight. Do they feel that we've had more storms, less storms? I think in the Northeast, I feel we've had a lot of people moving from the West Coast here because of that stuff. So staying ahead of that too is a way to engage with people. Not to say necessarily we have crazy weather here that you shouldn't move here, but just the idea that there are parts of the world where people move away from because of what's going on. So I think those are three very easy things for you to focus on. Not all of these are video. I think video ones are great, but it can drive engagement. Your responses, Latifa, could be in video to any of these through Instagram, which I think would be awesome. So with that, I'll open it up kind of to everyone. Anything else you're finding on social media that's working really well to drive engagement?
I think Alex Hoyt has an unfair advantage because he looks like Henry Cavill Superman. So I hate you, F you. So if you do a video of you walking out of a home and you kind of come walking out halfway, look at the camera and go like this, raise an eyebrow, rip your shirt open with a Superman on it, and cut immediately to a shot of you flying off. You're $1 million smile. And wait, am I saying all this out loud? I'm so sorry. I was thinking it, my bad. Yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to just call it like I see it. If I looked like you, I would play up the Superman part like nobody's business. Yeah, you walk out with the S on your chest and you go, what are my clients thinking me?
I'm writing it down.
So
2024 goal right there. That was
so there you go.
Before I just couldn't fit it on the slide. Yeah. Oh, awesome. I love it.
I think the poll thing.
Lucky you. And by the way, I can just drive out I could drive to Hollywood. Maybe I could look at his aging, maybe we could work something out.
There we go, Mr. Barbarina. I think the poll thing has legs. I find it interesting. Even if it's like this, part of my French, like the silliest shit you put on there. I did one the other day. I didn't freak out. That's a little strong phrase there, but post Christmas, I started by taking one decoration down, and then I just went on rampage and cleared the whole house, which made me think are other people doing this, or am I just crazy? So I threw it out on a poll to see, what's your situation with the holiday decoration removal and kind of a poll type of layout. And yeah, people just kind of came out of the woodwork. Some people were making comments and were being very strong on this pretty light topic. But it never ceases to amaze me that even some of the most trivial things, seemingly trivial things you put out there can be sometimes the most engaging, so it's a good reminder too that.
Hey, Alex, to piggyback on what you said about polls, and you too, Christopher, great point, is that polls are very reflexive. It's like impulse buying when you're at the supermarket and you're standing there.
Yeah.
So polls are just this quick. And people,
Yeah.
even if you kind of don't feel like answering, you see it, you either going to answer to be obnoxious, right? Like take the obvious dumb answer just to be a jerk, or you're going to, you're going to say, well, yeah. And it only takes what, like a third of a second to press. So that's kind of like an idea I think I'm going to try to implement periodically, is do like maybe 2 polls a month just to have it out there, because it's either going to work or it's not, and you never know. But when you guys were just talking about it, it hit me that they work for some people because it's so impulsive. It's just a tap, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I always participate on Chris's, and he's probably like, what the hell, Alex? That's great. Love your feedback.
I
Don't care.
always think it's funny when there's, it shows like the status bar of like how many people, and like I had one last week where there was just nothing for hours. And I was like, oh, what a bad poll. But then people come in. I think Josh and Alex both came in, so thank you.
We'll always be there for you guys.
And you make a great point. It's low hanging fruit for a lot of people. They don't have to commit.
Yeah.
They just have to tap. And that makes
Especially
it
if you have 3 choices, you got like a legitimate choice, you got a reasonably funny choice, and you got one that's just like the loser choice, like, how is this house? Gorgeous, not for me. I don't give a damn. I can't afford a house. That someone will pick one of those 3.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, we're all gonna do a poll. Who thinks Tony should go to Hollywood? So we'll all put this on
Oh
our
no, I
Instagram.
ain't driving up there. Are you kidding me? I go up there. I got those multi-billion-dollar good-looking agents that driving the Rolls Royces. I'd be like Rocky Balboa. How you doing? You want to buy a house? No. Make you an offer you can refuse. Oh.
That guy's that
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to throw this up quickly. Like, as you're doing stuff, like, don't do this, daily, or don't get addicted to it, but just looking at your dashboard, depending on no matter what platform you're on, but just see what's going on. I love to see when I drop followers, and then I try to come up with an idea of why, and I love to see when I gain. But I think ultimately just seeing how many posts you're throwing up there when it feels like you're riding that high of engagement. Hands down, anytime I do a collaboration with another business or with another agent, or I tag a business and they reshare, that's just the most obvious one for the algorithm to get more accounts reached. And not necessarily looking for more followers, because I'm just looking for people who want to enjoy the content. So that means a lot of people are going to fall off, but accounts reached is certainly something you can then go to your listing prospects with to say, hey, we reached X amount of people. We can do the same for your property. So I have the professional dashboard. You don't need that. I find you have a lot more freedom when you don't have it, but that's something for you to decide. All right.
Hey, Chris, real quick.
Oh yeah.
Do you have the professional dashboard for your personal, or do you have it for places in Maine when you're speaking of that?
It's a great question. I have it for my personal.
Okay. And for your places in Maine? Or you don't know?
Let me just check real quick. Naturally, I have my phone on a light stick right
Sorry.
here.
Like way off top.
Josh, is yours personal, or like, do you have a business account?
It's personal.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Personal,
Yeah, so my Chris Sales Maine
I'm posting a survey right now, or a poll, so I'm too busy, and that's what made me think of it.
Nice.
Good work.
Yeah, I am professional dashboard for Chris Sales Maine. Places in Maine is not. And I think that is more just the journey of where I was when I added places in Maine. So
It wasn't tactical.
it wasn't
It wasn't
tactical.
strategic.
Both are professional.
Oh, but you can switch them, I believe, right? I know we're getting into nitty gritty. That doesn't really matter. I'll stop.
So,
No, but
I'm
that's
the
a
exact
good-
opposite. My Josh is personal, and my places in Maine. My version of places in Maine.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, that is
Um,
professional. I just checked.
I know with personal, I feel like you have way more better music options for the reels because there's less copyright stuff, and I sometimes miss that. Once you find those golden bugs, yeah, no worries. I don't always do this in practice, but I think it's just a great one to remember. Like, if you post on Facebook every day, look at the end of the week, which one performed the best, and then boost it. $5, whatever it is. It's just a great way to get out in front of people. You could do that on Instagram as well. And literally anything Sharon says is worth doing. So we should all continue to do what he says. All right, cool. So part of what I wanted to do today also was not just like tell you what works, give you some ideas. I really wanted to like try to create a technique or in this case, a toolbox for you in order for you to feel like you can start on your journey of showing up authentically every time. So we're going to get a little bit into the toolbox that you have already. And I'm just going to make sure that you know about it and provide you with it today. So what's in it? There's going to be 3 core things in your toolbox that you're going to use every time you go to do video. And they're going to be easy to remember. It's moments, it's beliefs, and it's memories. So when I think about any of these things, a moment in time could just be a big life event that happened to you. This morning, I took my kids skiing before school in the yard. That was a proud moment. It's one I actually posted about. It's one now I think back on, and it just gives me a little bit of a smile as to what that moment was. If we think about our beliefs, we are all entitled to our own beliefs. I hope there are things that you feel passionately against, passionately for, and what beliefs really help us do, at least in my experience, or ignite something inside, a bit of a fire, right? And I think growing up and certainly going to a liberal arts college, I was always like, I don't know what I believe. And I think it took me on my journey of life a lot to figure out what I actually cared about. And so no matter where you are on that belief journey, just know that you have beliefs in you and they make your body chemistry react differently. And the third tool in your kit is memories. Like I said, you all have this toolkit in you. I'm just here to label these 3 things and let you know how to use them. So these could be childhood memories, memories of starting out in real estate, memories of a family member, memories of a book or a movie, whatever it might be. You have a memory inside you that I know is exciting, could be sad, could be gratitude, could be fear. But when you tap into that memory just a little bit, your feet sit a little solid into the ground. You feel connected to your breath. Your heart feels open. When I was acting a lot more on stage, I had a ritual every time before either the curtain went up or I entered the stage from the wing or behind the curtain. I took a moment for myself to feel my ground on the stage. And I thought about one acting teacher I had throughout my studies. And thinking about that acting teacher, I would visualize them. I would say, this is for you. And I would say, thank you for everything you taught me. And that would just take me out of the present moment. It would remove all the madness and noise of my life outside the stage. And it would help just remind me a little bit of all the people who helped me get to that moment in time. And so what I find with either the moments in your life, the beliefs in your core, or the memories you have in your brain, there is something about any of those that will connect you deeper to where you are in space in that time. To steal Sharon's quote from Rise, be where your feet are. It's very similar. So that's my heady kind of metaphorical way of like what I want you to hold on to: moments, beliefs, and memories. Okay. Remember, the goal here is to come up or to help you develop a technique to show up authentically, to quiet out the noise, to quiet the fear, and help you jump into video this year. So how do we do that, Chris? Super cool. I've got memories, I got beliefs, I got moments, but I need to make some video this year. So this is what we're going to do. Let's get to the execution. So I hope we all have ideas throughout the day to make content. Whether we act on them or not is totally fine, but we have ideas. I go to a coffee shop and I think, man, that coffee was so good. I love the artwork. I want to make a little post about how great this new neighborhood coffee shop is. We might have a moment with our family that was just like, wow, that was really great. Maybe it's a birthday and someone's blowing out the candles and it's like, I really want to remember this and I want to share my gratitude for the family. That's an idea for some content. You might also, and I guarantee you all of you get this, if not once a day, at least once a week from a mortgage expert, whether it's this week's market in a minute, or rates have gone up or down, or some type of rate update. You might think, I want to share that with my audience. There are people out there who need to know what rates just did. So there's an idea. So then you think, okay, I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to create content. I'm going to talk directly to camera about where mortgage rates are today, or I'm going to do a little video with the birthday candles and then show my face that I'm celebrating time outside of work. Or I'm at the coffee shop showing the cup in the light and I'm going to pan over to the sign. I'm going to tag them and I'm going to say, thank you for the great cup. There is your content idea that all involves video, some of it with your face, some of it not. So then it's like, okay, how do I use your tools? I want to do the idea. I want to create the content, but I want to be authentic and I want to work on that. So right before you have this moment of I'm going to hit record, just take a moment for yourself. Either think of a moment, think of a belief, think of a memory. The advanced version of this class, think of all three. I don't know, that might be crazy. But give yourself that moment in time. Now, I realize if you're standing outside the coffee shop and you're like trying to be where your feet are and you're like, all right, I'm going to go back to that moment in time when I was at the beach in San Diego, my feet in the sand. It's incredible. Sharon next to me. I have his new listing book, and then boom. When you're in that moment, when you're enjoying just being right there and nowhere else, that's exactly when you want to hit record. That's when you want to show up for the camera. And no matter what happens, that's your video, right? There might be a guffaw moment. There might be a blooper. There could totally be a mistake. That is okay. But you just did all this incredible work of coming up with an idea, deciding how you want to get that content out, using that tool, and then hitting record. Give yourself the pleasure and the joy of putting that content out there to show your audience, your prospects, that you're doing the work for yourself and for your business to grow, because you're doing that same work for the marketing of their properties, or to go above and beyond to find that off-market property for your buyer. So that's where I love to find that authenticity in video. That's the toolbox I want to hopefully prepare you with. And I'm very curious to know if it actually works for you. It might not, but I know for me, there's this idea that every moment of the day, I got to get out video, but I really want it to be something. And it doesn't always matter what the message is, as long as it's you and you only delivering that message. So think about those moments, those beliefs, those memories. Journaling is a way to help with those. Honestly, just connecting with people, connecting with old friends, talking with family. There are so many great ways to relive those moments. And not to say they're all amazing. Some might not be, but that also might ignite something in you that's authentic. So I know this doesn't get into all the creative ways to do video, but I think that comes in time. The stuff I put out that, I think a lot of people be like, dude, did you check with your seller? Sometimes I don't, and it's more a matter of like, I believe in this idea and I believe in the message and I believe in how I'm going to put it out there. And I think that's what people really respect and want to see. So if that's helpful at all, I can send you guys this deck, but it's only 3 words you got to write down: moments, beliefs, and memories. I hope and I wish for all of you that that can be some tidbit or grain of knowledge to help you to continue to show up authentically. And I think what you'll find is people will be so excited to watch it. Seeing the chats blow up. Josh, oh, okay. Yep. All right. Tony's still going. MBM, thank you. Yes.
I don't know. I felt like it was a Sharon moment where you're like, if this was valuable and I just got ahead of it and was like, I'm putting MBM in because that's what he's going to ask us to do. And then you didn't. And so I should have put a 1 in or something. I don't know. It's all right.
Maybe that's next level presentation is I got to engage with the absolutely
1s and 4s and the 1s and 4s. See, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Kirk. For those who don't know, anytime you watch Sharon, he's always asking, and a lot of people now, right? Throw a 1 in the chat, throw a 2, throw a random number. I'm recycling this, I think, from my last month's presentation, but just always thinking and sharing of ways to continue to engage with your audience. We talked about polls. We talked about kind of the self-bettering journey of what you can share, and also home evaluation. But actually click and see who's looking at your content. Engage with those people. They might be your biggest fans and your next client, and you have no idea until you ask them or until you chat with them a few times. Use the sizzle reel as a coming soon. So today I posted something. I'm going to be DMing brokers who have seen it just to say, hey, do you have a buyer? Use polls and share YouTube links with your stuff as much as you can. Part of our process today was we shared the YouTube link of the listing video first. Emails started to come in with questions. Just recently, an hour later, I put up the Instagram. And so we're getting the conversation started. We're building the buzz. That's more on the listing side, I realize, but any way you can share multiple videos over multiple platforms, I think you'll find engaging with people to be rewarding and satisfying, and you'll continue to attract your tribe, which are the people you want to do business with. Lofty, we're using it a lot. Use the landing page link when the listing goes live, add it to your social channels, use the social channel promos to get more content out on Lofty, and email your hot prospects. The videos are coming soon, so they feel some type of exclusivity with their relationship to you. Just going to run through these last things I always include. We're running out of time. Don't forget video warm-ups. Just like all things in life, warm up your body, your voice, your instrument, your heart, your energy, your style. Every morning I'm like, I literally look at my clothes and my first question is like, what am I doing video today? What do I want to show? You know? And that's fun. Like, it's not a task for me. It's like going to the costume shop. Live your life like that, and it is just way more enjoyable. And make sure you leave time to post. I always like to update my Instagram, but please feel free to add me if you haven't. For your homework, please feel free to DM me for collaboration. Make sure you're getting at least one video or reel a week, 3 stories or talking points. Please feel free to DM me for inspiration. We'll be back here in a month. I don't know what we're going to talk about in February, but it'll be full of love, chocolates, roses, and hearts. And we'll just take the next few minutes to open it up for those on Facebook. Thank you for watching. If you are watching this on record, I really appreciate you taking the time. And if anyone wants further documentation or help with just the MBM, you know how to get a hold of me. So yeah, any other questions? Any thoughts, revelations?
I think the MBM I'm excited to kind of delve into. I mean, I found in my brief experience with doing video, sometimes you can get into your own head, especially if it's like a monologue, looking at the camera kind of situation.
Yeah.
And you can kind of replay that script or whatever it is in your mind over and over. But I found too, like, even taking that pause, and this is so simple, like, I don't even know if it makes sense. But even taking that pause after you hit the record on the video, on the camera, whatever, taking that pause to just like either close your eyes, take breaths, think about MBM is for some reason super helpful, I think, especially when you're like getting into that monologue zone of whatever it might be, as opposed to like you're on. Because you can always edit, like that first part is super easy to
slide it over. Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, that's so simple, but it never occurred to me until whatever. I just tried it one time. And, oh, it's a lot easier, but less like whatever self-imposed pressure, I guess.
Yeah, great reminder. Like, hit record. Don't feel you have to start. You know, because you do. You have plenty of time. You can scrub it. You can edit it. You can move past it. Awesome. Tony's back. Tony, any closing arguments or thoughts? Compliments?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, just had to take care of business. You have to come poke, prod, and bother her. So anyway, yeah, you know what? One little tip on getting over video. I challenge all of you to try this, and you'll do it. I know you will. When you brush your teeth at night, you're usually pretty alone, like alone. Brush your teeth, hit record yourself trying to talk while brushing your teeth and make a total idiot of yourself, and watch it like 3 times in a row. Do that and erase it and do it every night for a week. Suddenly, when you do a video, hey, I have a market update for you. You're like, oh, that's so easy. So it's called contrastability. People are so afraid to do something bad. If you do something bad, I brush my teeth and I just start cursing at myself. You mother. He's getting all aggressive, brushing his teeth, and he plays it back, and he's like, all cringe. But after a week, he's like, you know what? I don't care anymore, because compared to that, right? Then when you go, hey, everybody, got a great new open house coming up in the pool. Wait, see you next week. Click. You know, it's like not. It's like have any of you ever had a job in your past where you were young and you felt a little uncomfortable and don't know where the supply closet was and you don't know how to work a register, but after a month, you're like a total pro? It's the same thing. We're creatures of habit. So when it comes to shooting video, if anyone's got any qualms about it, you still feel an edge, literally every
Yeah.
night before bed, brushing your teeth, embarrass the shit out of yourself deliberately and watch it and embrace the feeling of, oh my God, I look like garbage, my belly's fat, whatever, and you erase it. No one knows. Every night for a week, do 3 of those and you erase it. Don't show nobody. And next Monday, you're going to go, damn it, Tony was right. Oh, Jesus. Now my video's too easy. Now I got to listen to Christopher give me more ideas. I got to check out Alex and his perfect teeth. I got to see Tom Sizemore Jr. over here. What's with you people? So anyway, that's my little fun tip. And I really mean it though. I've had enough of people. I'm no special pro. I just had an idea and people go, you know what? It actually works. Like I don't feel so uncomfortable. I go, exactly. Do it poorly. Shoot the worst video you can at night when no one knows you're around. I have a detached 2-car garage. I used to walk around for a minute just insulting myself or just rah, cheer, cheer, or talk about the pink can in the corner. Hey, everybody, Tony Barbarino. I got this pink can here. It's a flat white. It's so great. And I would try to like sell something and try to keep it going. I watch it.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed. I delete it. I don't care anymore. This is years ago. Obviously, I'm still shy, but it works. So that's a secret you can take with you only to this group because we've been here the whole time and I love you.
Tony, thank you so much. Can't wait to brush my teeth tonight. Everyone else, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Always super enjoyable. Appreciate your energies, your ideas, and your future collaboration. So let's have an awesome start to the new year. We get off that couch and we get that content going. So take care, everyone. Thank you again.
Thank you for letting me share, Christopher. I appreciate you.
Likewise,
Thanks,
man.
Chris.
Take care.
Thanks, buddy. Happy New Year.